It's funny how quiet it gets sometimes. Hank loves these last hours of the day, when the last customer drives off and the world slows down. He sits on the porch of the Angler's Hook, one hand in his pocket, the other holding a beer from his own fridge. The kind of beer that never makes it to the register. But one night... a familiar figure appeared on the lot. An old friend who had been gone for a long time. Welcome back, everyone, to the Polygon Vault character series. Now, you might be wondering why I'm calling her Edna, when in fact we used to call the place Norma's Motor Inn. Well, turns out I accidentally named her after the owner of the Bates Motel. Yeah, Norma Bates. And I swear I didn't know. But when my main man Mafkosh9149 pointed it out, yeah, that was enough for me to go, okay, I'm not competing with Hitchcock. Let's go with Edna. Which means I'll have to trash the old motel sign and make a brand new one with her name on it. So while the place is under renovation, I figured she could hang out with Hank for a bit. So who is she again? I gave a quick description when I first modeled the motel, but let's go a little deeper this time. She's the owner of the Edna's Motor Inn, and she's been running the place pretty much forever. She's the kind of woman who's seen it all, and has opinions about everything. The kind of person who'll offer you coffee, but somehow make you feel guilty for accepting it. Her husband's been in prison for as long as anyone can remember. Nobody really knows why, and honestly, Edna's not the type to bring it up. Her parents used to run the motel back in the day, but when her mother got sick, her father passed it down to Edna so he could stay close and take care of her. She's been behind that front desk ever since, holding the fort, fixing what she can, and pretending the rest isn't falling apart. She's not mean, just blunt. Small town tough, you know. But beneath that, she actually cares a lot about the people who stop by. Even Hank, when he'd come in for a chat. Even if she'd never admit it. So as you saw while I was rambling like a madman, I just took Hank's existing model and stripped off his vest and his entire head. Basically, I turned Hank into Edna. Same pixels, totally different personality. Just FYI, Edna came out totally different from what I originally had in mind. I started modeling her on the chunky side, and somehow, without even realizing it, she slowly turned thinner and thinner. I guess she's on a digital diet or something. I originally wanted her to look like a 90s Karen, you know, the I want to speak to the manager type, but somehow she ended up looking like a 70s hippie, chain-smoking cigarettes and not giving a damn about anything. I made the sleeves longer and a bit bigger, you know, gotta give her that relaxed, I don't care vibe. And yeah, everything's mirrored, obviously. Shout out to the mirror modifier for saving me from total insanity. And then I tackled the Ed next. What I love about low poly is that you can basically do whatever you want, and if it ends up looking ugly as hell, well, you know, you can just call it part of the charm, you know, part of the PS1 old retro charm. So no worries there. I didn't go into full details for her face. The thing with low poly is, you don't need to. The textures do most of the work for you. They create the eyes, nostrils, and mouth, so you can focus on the big shapes and the overall silhouettes, and let the textures handle the rest. I'm aiming to finish the head quickly so I can lock in the basic shape of the model and start shaping the rest of the character. Here I'm just modeling the ears, perfect for catching all that small town gossip, I guess. And now, here comes the hair. Time to give Edna some personality on top. Think slightly grown out, practical, but still with a little flair. Honestly, I'm just improvising when it comes to making hair. It's really just about adding vertices wherever it feels like they should go. At first I thought about giving her a ponytail or something fancy, but nah. I went with loose hair. It just felt more Edna. This is the part where I removed the symmetry, because no one's hair is perfectly mirrored, unless you're a video game NPC. And even then, I wanted to give her that unique vibe. Slowly but surely, I just keep extruding faces and connecting them into what can only be described as a tangled mess of vertices. And it just works. It just works. As you can see, it's finally starting to take shape. Oh, coffee, rain outside, and blender. That's what happiness looks like, my incredible peeps. Alright, let's close the head again, but this time with hair, because bald Edna was starting to scare me a little. Once I was happy with the overall shape, I started adding smaller details. Here I'm just modeling a little collar for Edna's shirts. Again, the texture will do most of the work here, but it helps to add a bit of extra geometry beforehand. With the mirror modifier turned off, we can make the color a little bit uneven, so it looks a bit messier and more realistic. And there it is, folks. At this point, I was happy with the topology, so I moved on to the Unwrap. And as you can see, since I copied the model from Hank, the Unwrap was pretty messed up, so I had to clean it. This, ladies and gents, is my final Unwrap. And as you can see, there's a lot of overlapping faces. Just so you know, if you didn't already, that's intentional, and you'll see why in a minute. There were still a lot of blank spaces that shouldn't have been there, but I realized afterward that I could reuse certain parts of the UV sheet on tiny faces that weren't really visible anyway, so that's that. It's not my best Unwrap ever, but hey, that means there's still room for small props we can texture, and Edna will be able to use them without needing a new texture in the scene, so that's good. Here I'm just separating all the main parts using color IDs so I can see what I'm doing when I load the texture in Blender or Unreal. When I first started modeling Edna, I literally had no idea what I wanted. After hunting for references on Google Images in places like this, I decided on a jeans vest at first. I played around, adding little touches like the front pockets, the buttons and all that. But honestly, I wasn't sure. I didn't think it gave enough character to Edna, basically. I decided to move on and try texturing the pants instead, just to mix things up a bit. The fabric texture on the pants made it look a bit better, but by this point, I was pretty discouraged. So I decided to shift focus once again and work on Edna's head and skin. And then I found this great blonde, gray hair texture. And when I applied it, my incredible peeps, it instantly worked. Like, my confidence got a little boost at that point, so. I then added the belt, but keep in mind, I was still just experimenting with no clear idea of what Edna would end up looking like. I think that's why it took me so long to release a new video this week, but you know, they say hard takes time, right? After curating several facial features from older ladies, yeah, I know, I probably sound like a serial killer, but yeah, I applied what I thought would make the most interesting face for Edna. Luckily, it didn't end up looking like a Frankenstein monster or anything like that. And with the magic of Photoshop, you can calibrate the colors so all the separate images have the same balance and saturation. Everything just fits together. This is uncannily terrifying. Oh, Jesus Christ, on a bike. I then added a little toupee by drawing the hair texture on her forehead, just to make the transition between her hair and skin look a bit more seamless. And then I added this little detail that I absolutely love. Like, it gives Edna so much character. I then created the nostrils using this beauty mark that I love so much. Time to make Edna a bit older by adding some aged skin, basically. At this point, I was having fun again. I felt like I finally had a good looking face for her, so I decided to focus on that and figure out her clothes later on. Oh, she's really starting to look good. And now for the hands, same technique. I find an image that inspires me on Google Images and try to make it fit on the UV sheet. I ended up using the longest fingers for the whole hand. Thumb included, ladies and gents. By the way, I know my workflow isn't perfect, and it might make, like, Photoshop experts cringe a little bit. So if you notice anything that bothers you, don't hesitate to mention it in the comments. Same goes for Blender. I then just added outlines to the fingers with a standard brush, just to make them pop a bit more in Unreal later on. I then came back to the clothes, and I decided to give that 70s vibe another shot, but this time I wanted it to be a bit more obvious, as if Edna was trapped in another era, basically. Well, she looks like a Jedi now, minus the hood and the cape and the lightsaber, maybe. This 70s pattern totally screams free-spirited. You just know Edna has some wild stories from back in the day. I just desaturated it a little and it instantly fit the theme in the vision I was going for. I could literally feel my motivation coming back in spades, my incredible peeps. Like for days I've been mindlessly modeling and texturing, just hoping to find a good direction, and there it was. I figured I'd use the leftover texture to make the color. Waste not, want not, and it looks kinda good. Yes, my incredible peeps, she looks so good! Alright, quick reminder folks, if you've made it this far, you clearly have great taste in retro, low-poly 3D art. So go ahead, drop a like, share the video, and hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out and heading it too, emotionally, alright? And I'll never say it enough, by the way, thanks for sticking around. Oh, and I've got a Patreon too. So if you want to buy me a coffee a month, this is where you do it. Links in the description. I eventually found a nice color for the pants. You know, that purplish tone makes the whole character feel a bit more funky. You gotta love that royalty-free 70s music, my guy. Pure gold. The trick to making every texture fit on the same UV sheet is to make the layer you're working on a little transparent so it absorbs the colors underneath. Then, like I did before, I usually tweak the color balance and saturation until it matches. And finally I use the eraser tool to soften the edges, and boom, you know, it looks good most of the time. Next up, texturing the back pockets. And then I added some little cuffs to the jeans at the bottom. I thought it would look good, and I was pleasantly surprised. Here they are in all their glory. I had to re-unwrap the legs and update the UV layout in Photoshop, but I think it was worth it in the end. I then added some seams right after, and I started working on the shoes. I wanted something like kitsch, 90s inspired, with some golden accents. I added a rubber base to the shoes so Edna won't trip or anything, you know, something solid. Here's the little gold bit. Edna really has a cheesy sense of style. And here's the underside of the shoes, because details matter. Once all that was done, I moved on to the finer details, giving Edna golden earrings and bracelets. I created a plane with alpha transparency, grabbed what I needed from the UV sheet, and voila, golden earrings in her ears. Well, they're not gold on the footage you see right now, but that's what they turned out to be. I just took a piece of her arm, copy-pasted it, and turned it into a bracelet. As simple as that. Whoa, this music hits right in the feels, my incredible peeps. This character took so much time, mostly because I kept tweaking things until I was happy. It took a long time, but now I really like Edna. I have a feeling she's going to be central to the stories I want to tell in Wiyoh Falls, and that's very cool. And here I added a bracelet to her right leg as well. 'Cause why not? To differentiate them, I made the bracelet on her arm gold and the one on her leg silver. And that's pretty much it, honestly. To wrap things up, I added some folds in her clothes and other small details. I rigged Edna with a basic setup and brought her into Unreal Engine. I absolutely love her charm. She's just so cool. And I'm glad Hank finally has someone to talk to. Poor guy's been stuck alone in my project files for weeks now. I mean, we had our young outsider character, but he's out of town now. Probably gone for good. Who knows? So expect a lot more story-driven little cinematics like this in the future. Now that I have more than one character to create drama with. That's it for this week. I absolutely love all of you, my incredible peeps. I'll see you next time.